Hey folks, this is an article I wrote yesterday about possible war in Iran supporting Israel, and I make the case that could be another Iraq or Afghanistan. Of course, the Ayatollah is a bad actor, but Trump is a MAGA guy. He's America first, right? What's best interest for America? Kind of saying, hey, we only go to war if we're attacked type. He didn't want to be a neocon. He didn't want endless wars. Almost like an isolationist, right? Retreat and only come out. Obviously, we have the national debt. I mean, a conflict in Iran would add trillions and trillions to national debt, like it did in Afghanistan and Iraq. And of course, military personnel, thousands, of course, would have to pay the price and die in battle. Soldiers, Marines, sailors, etc., going out there. It's not easy in the Middle East, and we've seen history has shown we place a strong man, like in Libya or in Syria recently. Assad was replaced and toppled, or you look at what happened to Saddam Hussein in Iraq. Weapons of mass destruction he had, and you go from bad to worse. Unfortunately, you get civil war, you get these factions going at each other, history of hatred. They take over. ISIS, like Assad, he fell after 13 years civil war. And what do you get in Syria now? You're looking and seeing what ISIS is doing with the country. I mean, that's pretty bad stuff right there. You take out the Ayatollah. Yeah, he's been there for 35 years, 36 years, since '89. And it could be bad news. It could be an absolute mess, worse than Iraq, disastrous civil war. Gas prices could soar. I mean, there's a lot of factors come in there. Obviously, Israel has to defend themselves and protect themselves from a possible nuclear threat from Iran. And the U.S. is providing intelligence and support as much as they can. They've hit hard certain sites. They've taken out key leadership next to the Ayatollah that's running military operations. Civil air defense has been knocked out. So Iran is weakened immensely, and maybe it's best to lead from behind, not to join the fight, because that could be a big problem in many regards. You take out the Ayatollah, you take the head of the snake out, and what do you have? You're going to have a civil war. You have different factions between ISIS and other extremist groups going at each other to take over Iran. We would love it to be democracy, just like in Europe, here in the U.S., but unfortunately, history has shown it doesn't work out that way. You take out the bad guy, and something worse. Sometimes better the devil you know, devil that you don't know. We would love to have order. Fortunately, strongman does bring order in that region. But of course, what follows is chaos. Absolute chaos in that region. It's unfortunate. It's unfortunate. That's the history. And I saw a recent debate interview after I wrote this article, which is good. You can find it on Medium. I've written almost 130 articles on Medium. Check it out here, medium.com. It's a great outlet. And I've also written close to 80 books on Amazon. But I saw this show between Tucker Carlson and Ted Cruz. You can go on YouTube and just and Google and just type in the interview. And it shows that MAGA is divided, right? It's almost going to become a civil war if Trump does decide. I know they're trying to have some peace talks here with Ayatollah, but at the end, if he decides, let's take him out and let's use the bunker bombs and Fordo and see if we can destroy that facility there once and for all. Because Israel has done irreparable damage to Iran, and it's really made it difficult for them to ever develop a nuclear weapon. But once and for all, knock it out for their safety. They can do it, but if they need us to do it, I think it's a little more complicated. If it's just 1 or 2 strikes, maybe, but what's the consequence after that? And what's the safety for Americans overseas and at home? Probably less safer, because they have means with terrorism around the world to strike back also. It makes us and our allies a lot less safer too. If possible, with a peace, be great. But if you go and watch these two, Tucker Carlson and Senator Ted Cruz from Texas, they go back and forth, and a lot of discussion over between isolationists and Hawks and interventionists, as they say. And where does Trump stay in here? Does he want to go? He talked about being a peacekeeper. He wanted to be he wanted to end wars, not start wars. He wanted to end the war in Ukraine. He wanted to end the war between Gaza, between the Hamas and Israel and Gaza. This is a big step. This would change everything. This obviously will be years. It'll be easy to knock out the regime, but what comes next? Just like Iraq, it was easy to knock out Saddam Hussein. What came next was civil war between different groups, different factions, extremists, and we get in the middle of trying to build democracy like in Afghanistan and Iraq. That doesn't work. You want to knock them out, what you're going to have is worse, possible like what happened in Syria with ISIS. Definitely don't want ISIS running Iran. So those are things you have to play, put them to the table, saying we'll knock you out. You better never try this again. But if they do, these are the consequences we have. But interesting debate between two of them. What could come out of this? A lot in the MAGA camp don't want to do this war. They see this, but some conservatives, those who are hawks, they want to knock out this regime. They want payback for the Ayatollah, payback for what happened to our hostages in 1979, payback for what's going on. But there comes a price. There comes a big price. A lot of us don't want to see trillions of dollars increase our national debt. And that's what the conflict would cause. They want to see our blood and treasure spilled in Tehran. But there's a problem. There's a debate here going on between MAGA. Many of them want nothing to do with this. It's what's in it for America. Why are we doing this? And there's interest going on. So it's a big debate going on between the factions within MAGA. Where are we going with this war and what's happening? We'll see what happens. Trump has a big gamble. It could work out, but most likely history has shown, I've talked about in my conclusion, it doesn't work out well, especially in this region, the Middle East. It just doesn't work out. It didn't work out with Gaddafi in Libya, with these factions going at it. It gets country is unstable. A strongman keeps stability, but then it can get really crazy, like we see in Syria, Iraq, Afghanistan. Taliban is back. We try to have democracy. We try to have the groups that didn't fight for it, and this is what we get here. So Trump's war in Iran, I think, has no doubt will be another disastrous outcome in the Middle East. Other options have to be on the table, but I think going there with military and trying to bring democracy, that'd be a huge mistake. Knocking out the nuclear facilities, okay, but you take out the head of the snake, there are going to be consequences, and the U.S. is going to be stuck all over this because Israel is a small country the size of New Jersey, and it's going to need the United States to really clean up this mess on aisle 3.